Do you see what is this? Do you see what is this? Take a look at my pointer. Do you see? Do you know what is this? I'll explain to you about this particular sign. Very, very interesting in this video. And we'll also share with you some other news. Before I move on, just to remind you, most of my viewers are not subscribed. If you happen to be one of them, consider subscribing. Let's take a look at this particular news coming in the last hours. We start off with this monster. He's a chair for the Zionist lobby in the UK. He used to be a minister for the veterans. He was caught trying to solicit for sex with a boy. I think the boy, his age is 15 years old. But the pedophile hunters, they caught him. Take a listen a little bit.
At 1 o'clock, you said that you was going to go and meet him at quarter to.
If we could, I don't know, trains, etc.
Yeah,
etc.
you see,
I don't know.
But wait, but here's the slippery thing. You said you had no intention, but now you concede that actually, I might have been planning to take this child to meet Stephen. So
okay, so basically,
you told this child.
Basically, when he was caught and he was asked, you are planning to meet this young boy, he said, yeah, I thought so. And then he changed the story to, no, I did not want to meet him. There was no intention meeting him. But it was too late for him. He got caught. And this reminds us about the grooming gang in the UK, where we see most of the time the GB News, for example, this woman, she actually, not herself, but GB News yesterday, as you can see on the screen, GB News, they posted a video blasting the Pakistani Muslim, the grooming gang, who are not really as much responsible for this kind of crime as the white male, British white male. Nevertheless, GB News, they painted an entire Muslim population, especially the Pakistanis, as the culprits, the perpetrators of this kind of crime, and they believe that if the Pakistanis could be deported, then the crime will stop. I'm not sure if I have
of course, what I am.
Okay, I do have a soundbite.
Of course, what I am really against of what Musk has said.
Again, GB News, all the Western media propaganda, they want to paint the Muslims as the culprit when you have a guy, a Zionist, a Jew, who got caught red-handed, but they will never broadcast that. Oh, hush, we're not going to talk about this. Now, I also want to share with you guys something else here. So this was at a Candace Owens show, and this person, he was a guest at the show, and this is what he has to say about the Israeli atrocities on October 7th.
Huge part of the story of October the 7th was based on explaining away the results of the implementation of the Hannibal Directive. Hamas surely murdered people, mostly with gunshots, rifle shots, and grenades, handheld grenades, things like this. Well, who blew up this whole house full of people?
Yeah.
An Israeli tank did.
Right.
Who blew up all these cars? Israeli helicopters. But they had to put all that on Hamas. So they showed all this destruction. They said, they tied up this family and then set them all on fire, and they cut off the heads of all these babies, and they elaborated all of this stuff. There was one baby that was killed by a gunshot through a door.
Which is horrible. Absolutely horrible.
And it was apparently a Hamas member who fired.
Okay, so basically, not only this, but also recently when UN did investigation and human rights, they could not find one rape victim by Hamas. There was no rape taking place by Hamas members, by the resistance forces. The Western media, they want us to believe Hamas is bad. They are behind all these evil things that are happening in Israel. But we are hearing completely contradicting reports. And when you hear a person like himself, talking about what IDF did on October 7th, you know that these are all facts. He's not saying something from his colleague that he heard from. He's not saying something because he heard he read somewhere on the internet about the Zionist atrocities. He has evidence. We have evidence. We have seen with our own eyes. And still, a lot of the Zionists, they are still blaming Hamas for everything, including the hostages that are getting killed in Gaza. Oh, it's Hamas's fault. No, it is Israel who is bombing those buildings where these hostages could be. And therefore, it is just so pathetic that the PR, the propaganda of the Zionists is falling apart. Now, let's take a look at this monster, what he was saying. He got caught, the IDF chief, when he was talking about collective punishment for the people of Gaza.
אני רוצה שתדעו, אני מסתכל על המצב שחמאס נמצאת בו, הם רואים כל יממה מה אתם עושים להם, והם מבינים שהדבר הזה הוא קרוב להיות קשה מנשוא, ואני אומר לכם, אנחנו לא נעצור.
I'm telling you, we will not stop. We're going to punish them all together.
אנחנו נביא אותם לנקודה שהם יבינו שהם צריכים להביא את כל החטופים חזרה, אחרת העבודה המאוד מקצועית שאתם עושים תימשך ותימשך, וזה עוד שבועים ועוד פעילים הרוגים, ואני יודע שאתם עושים הכל שאצלנו יהיו כמה שפחות נפגעים. אני רוצה שתדעו, אני מסתכל על המצב שחמאס נמצאת בו.
This we already knew that they were actually not sincere about getting the hostages back, because by using the hostages they could continue that genocide in Gaza and justify to the world stage. But obviously nobody's buying that. Instead, what we see is this. I have seen this somewhere on the internet. And the simple question was, who are the real terrorists? Okay, we have IDF and then we have Hamas. IDF is the one who's sniping women and children, bombing hospitals, bombing refugee camps, and targeting journalists, torturing prisoners, use mass starvation. And if you take a look at the resistance forces, they're doing none of this. So this was found on the internet. Now, not only this, but also, when the Zionists talk about how proud they are of their military, especially the young recruits, take a look at this guy, what he's saying. This is a young boy from, looks like he's in Israel at the moment when he was saying those things. And he was pretty much supporting Hamas openly. Okay, so again, very, very interesting that a Jewish boy will be speaking out against these monsters in public and supporting Hamas. What a shame for them. Now, we have seen the Houthis, they're wreaking havoc in Israel, also in Red Sea. And so now there is this new picture popping up on the internet, basically suggesting that Houthis, they are not just an ordinary military. They have their military parade the other day, and somebody said Europe admits that the Houthis are a force to be reckoned with. Italy's defense says Ansarullah movement is more dangerous than Hamas and Hezbollah. They produce their own weapons. More than 24,000 airstrikes by the Saudi-led coalition did not weaken the Houthis. I mean, this is a very extraordinary situation for the Zionist state of Israel to deal with Houthis, because looks like they cannot really fulfill their promises. The Zionists, when they promise that we're going to get rid of the leadership of Houthis, and this will happen, and Iran will pay, and everybody will pay. And now they know that they are dealing with some very extraordinary forces from the Houthis, from Yemen. And therefore, this kind of picture is obviously going to terrify the Zionists more, looking at the strength of the Houthis. Also, we have seen how Houthis are now not only targeting the Red Sea and Israel, but they are now launching war. So 9-hour war took place between US and Houthis yesterday. 9 hours. For 9 hours, they exchanged missiles and fired each other location and positions. Can you imagine Houthis able to have that kind of longevity in terms of waging war against mighty United States, who has USS Harry Truman in Red Sea? There are multiple warships and a lot of firepower. But Houthis are saying, come, let's have a duel. And that's exactly what happened. And US, they backed down. Eventually, looks like there was no victory for US. There was no clear target by the United States military on Houthis' location in Yemen. They were not able to do anything. Now, when I explained to you or showed you the photo here, basically this is a Nazi symbol, okay? And we know the Zionist forces, they are Nazi. And literally, this guy, he is tattooing his arm with a Nazi symbol. And this is what somebody said: Israel is a new Nazi of the Nazi state of the world. The Israeli army is a Nazi army of today. Zionists are today's Nazi. Zionism is not Judaism. Zionism is Nazism. And this guy did not hesitate or have any qualm to show that in public that indeed that is the case. These Zionists, they are worse than Nazis in a lot of ways. And also, as we call them, the terrorists of the world in modern history, the biggest terrorist organization network in modern history, supported by the leadership of these people in the United States. And this is why somebody said this is the only terrorist group you need to be worried about. This was taken, this photo, when they attended, all of this terrorists in suit, the funeral service of Bush, no, not Jimmy Carter. And then you have Donald Trump here, Obama talking, acting like, yeah, we are so innocent, we are saints, we are angels fallen from sky, we are here to save the whole world, we are the leader of the free world, blah, 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 blah. Obviously, they are not leader of the free world. And that is something I want to actually point out. Every time we used to watch Western media news, they would always mention, before they mention Obama, especially Obama's time, they will say the leader of the free world going to China, going to Russia, not China, Russia, but going to Europe or other countries, leader of the world, free world, boarding his Air Force One plane, leader of the free world, leader of the free world. I don't hear that anymore. I don't know. They don't, even the Western media, they know that they are not. United States and the president of the United States, he is not the leader of the free world anymore. It's just those good old days are gone. Now we have China, now we have Russia, now we have so many other powers. And looking at US's weakness in the Middle East, especially in Gaza, because they are weak, even though they're bombing Gaza, but they cannot bring those resistance forces to surrender, even though they are supplying their own weapon and bombs and all that, but they are totally a utter failure. So this is why somebody said these are the terrorists, and it is so true. These people, they're chosen people by Zionist lobby. They are chosen people by the Zionist lobby, and they are trying their best every single day to destroy Gaza and to punish anybody who will be standing against them with more sanctions and with more, military and weapon and bomb and all that, and sometimes even government changes. Thank you guys for joining this session. I'll see you in the next video.